Dodo Bird. So the dodo, often considered the poster child for extinction, is a bird that couldn't catch a break. Imagine being the definition of not adapting in a world that's constantly changing. The dodo was native to Mauritius, a small island in the Indian Ocean, and it was, well, blissfully clueless. This bird was about as clumsy as a character in a slapstick comedy. Standing about 3 feet tall, it had a big beak, short wings, and, strangely, no real predators. So it just waddled around, fat, slow, and happy, eating fruits and seeds. It was basically living the dream with no one around to ruin its vibe until humans showed up. Then things got very, very bad very, very quickly. What makes the dodo's fall from grace even more tragic is that its extinction wasn't just a random natural event, it was entirely our fault. Humans brought invasive species to Mauritius, including rats, pigs, and monkeys, which turned out to be a huge problem for the dodo. The rats loved to feast on dodo's eggs, and the pigs, they were like the drunken uncles of the animal kingdom, trampling over everything, including the poor bird's habitat. Within a few decades of human arrival, the dodo was gone, wiped out by our interference, mostly because it didn't know how to defend itself. And then there's the whole idea that people thought the dodo was a dumb bird. Some historians believed that the dodo's inability to fly and its naive nature made it seem like an easy target. There's even a darkly humorous myth that people thought dodos were delicious, so much so that they were hunted for food, adding insult to injury. Now, in modern times, the dodo has become a symbol of human-caused extinction, and we can only look back and say, well, that was one spectacularly dumb bird. But here's a shocking fact that might make you reconsider this bird. Recent studies have found that the dodo wasn't as helpless as we once thought. Some scientists believe the dodo has a unique and potentially delicious fat content that could have been used in traditional cooking, so in reality, it wasn't just a goofy bird, it was a lost culinary treasure. Komodo Dragon. The Komodo Dragon might sound like something out of a fantasy novel, but it's very much real and terrifying. These giant lizards, found on the Indonesian islands of Komodo, Rinca, Flores, and Gili Motang, are the stuff of nightmares. Growing up to 10 feet long and weighing as much as 150 pounds, Komodo dragons are the world's largest living lizards. They are monstrous in every sense of the word. Picture a velociraptor, but with a dragon-like twist. What makes these creatures particularly frightening is their method of hunting. Komodo dragons aren't subtle, they ambush their prey with speed and strength, and they have a secret weapon, their venomous bite. While it's often believed that their bites are just full of bacteria, scientists have recently discovered that Komodo dragons produce venom that can cause blood clotting and paralysis. So they don't just bite and wait, these lizards strike with a purpose, ensuring that their prey is immobilized before they move in for the kill. The Komodo dragon's diet is just as brutal as its hunting tactics. They're opportunistic hunters, meaning that they'll eat anything: deer, wild boar, and even smaller Komodo dragons. Yeah, they'll eat their own kind if the opportunity arises. They're like the ultimate opportunist, never turning down a meal, and when they eat, it's a sight to behold. Komodo dragons can consume up to 80% of their body weight in a single meal. It's like someone who eats an entire pizza and then doesn't feel stuffed at all. And here's a truly shocking fact: Komodo dragons can run at speeds of up to 13 miles per hour, and they can swim between islands. So don't think you can outrun them on land or sea. They're apex predators both on land and in the water. With their sheer size, speed, and lethal bite, they are perfectly equipped to take on any prey in their path. Despite their terrifying nature, Komodo dragons are vulnerable. Their habitat is shrinking due to human activity and climate change, so while they might seem like invincible beasts, they're actually facing serious threats to their survival. It's a harsh reminder that even the most fearsome creatures aren't immune to the dangers of a changing world. Giant Anaconda. Imagine you're an unsuspecting swimmer paddling through the serene waters of the Amazon when suddenly you feel the chill of something massive between you. Is it just a log? Oh no, my friend, it's a giant anaconda, the largest snake on Earth, and it's cruising through the water like it owns the place. These snakes can grow up to 30 feet long, making them not just big, but truly terrifying. And guess what? They don't even bother with venom. The sheer strength of their squeeze does the job. They're like the heavyweights of the reptile world. No fancy tricks, just raw power. But here's the kicker: despite their size, giant anacondas are sneaky little devils. They'll lie in wait in the murky waters, their giant bodies hidden from view. Their prey, typically jaguars, capybaras, or even caimans, will wade in blissfully unaware. One minute, they're going about their business. The next, they're in a death grip that could rival any WWE match. Anacondas don't chase down their meals either. They prefer ambush. They're like the ultimate stalkers of the animal kingdom, making stealth look easy. Now, you might be thinking, how in the world do such big snakes even move? Well, get this, anacondas are like living hydraulic systems. They use powerful muscles to swim and slither, and when they're on land, they look like the embodiment of sluggishness. But put them in water, and it's like they've swapped legs for fins. They move faster than you'd think, so if you're ever thinking of swimming in the Amazon, remember, you're not just sharing the water with fish. Let's talk about their appetite. A giant snake this big needs to eat, and we're talking meals that could take a week to digest. We're talking massive feasts, like wild pigs, deer, and even the occasional jaguar. Yes, you read that right. The most shocking part? Their jaws stretch to accommodate their prey. It's like watching a snake trying to eat something twice its size, but in slow motion. If that doesn't make you rethink your next Amazon adventure, I don't know what will. The anaconda's baby-making process is equally mind-blowing. After mating, the female can give birth to up to 40 babies. That's right, 40 mini-monsters swimming around, looking like something out of a horror movie. But here's the even crazier part. The babies are already born with a full set of working fangs and are capable of hunting on their own. You could say that this snake doesn't need any time to learn the ropes of survival. It's practically born with a degree of predation. Honey badger. Let's talk about the honey badger. If there were a toughest animal on the planet competition, this little mammal would win gold and take out the competition for fun. The honey badger is essentially the definition of don't mess with me. Found in Africa, Southwest Asia, and the Indian subcontinent, the honey badger is like that one friend who will fight you over the last slice of pizza, even if they have to wrestle a lion to do it. This critter doesn't know fear. Seriously, it has no fear. There is no obstacle in its way. It charges straight through like a wrecking ball with fur. It's all about the attitude. Honey badgers are so fearless that they've earned a reputation as one of the most fearless animals in the world. They can take on venomous snakes, including cobras, and survive. Yeah, they're immune to some snake venoms. I know, you're probably thinking, that's like trying to pick a fight with a dragon and coming out on top. But it gets better. These little monsters will dig into the dens of lions and hyenas, mess up their day, and just keep walking like they're too cool for school. And by the way, they can't even be bothered to walk properly. They're like that kid who's too lazy to follow the rules, but somehow still wins the game every time. But here's the kicker. Honey badgers aren't even that big. They average about 23 to 28 inches long and only weigh about 24 pounds, which is the same as a medium-sized dog. So why does it have this larger-than-life persona? Well, it's the attitude that counts. The honey badger doesn't play by anyone's rules. It's the rebel of the animal kingdom, showing up at the party with no invitation and taking all the attention. The best part is, honey badgers love honey. They'll dig into beehives like it's a buffet and eat the honeycomb, the larva, and whatever else they can find inside, getting stung hundreds of times in the process. But, unlike most of us, the honey badger just shrugs it off. This little beast's skin is thick and tough enough that it can resist a lot of damage, and its tenacity is off the charts. It doesn't care how much it hurts, it just wants the goods. Here's something shocking. Honey badgers are also known for their cunning intelligence. When they're not busy terrorizing other animals, they're busy using tools. They've been observed using sticks to break into animal traps. Think of it like a funny version of MacGyver, except with a lot more fighting and a lot less finesse. Brown bear. Brown bears, especially the mighty grizzly, are the undisputed giants of North America. They're basically the heavyweights of the animal kingdom, standing up to 10 feet tall on their hind legs and weighing in at a hefty 1,500 pounds. Brown bears are a bit like nature's bodybuilders, if bodybuilders also enjoyed eating anything they could find. This powerful creature doesn't just lumber around, it commands attention. Imagine encountering one in the wild. You're not getting close to it, you're getting out of the way. But here's the thing about brown bears. They're not always the terrifying beasts you might expect. Despite their imposing size and strength, brown bears are surprisingly shy. They prefer to avoid human contact whenever possible. They're like the guy at the gym who can bench press a truck, but would rather read a book in the corner than start a fight. Brown bears are known to keep to themselves, spending most of their time foraging, fishing, and preparing for the long winter months. And when they do make an appearance, well, let's just say it's best to give them space. These creatures are expert foragers, and their food preferences, they have a vast menu. Everything from berries to roots to salmon and even moose. They're like nature's ultimate buffet connoisseurs. The way brown bears hunt fish is something straight out of a nature documentary. Picture this. They stand in shallow streams, wait for a fish to swim by, and then bam! With a swipe of their giant paws, they grab their prey like it's the most natural thing in the world. It's like watching a giant, furry ninja, only way more terrifying. But here's the plot twist. Despite all their strength and skill, brown bears aren't super aggressive unless provoked. Most of the time, they'd rather take a nap or dig around for some food than start a fight. They're surprisingly gentle giants, unless you mess with their cubs, or worse, their food. Speaking of cubs, brown bear mothers are fiercely protective. They'll fight off wolves, other bears, and even humans if it means protecting their babies. Brown bear cubs are born blind, helpless, and tiny, about the size of a guinea pig, but don't let their small beginnings fool you. Within a few months, they learn from their mothers how to catch fish, hunt, and survive in the wild. These cubs have it tough, but their mother's guidance is priceless. You might be surprised to learn that brown bears are incredibly smart. They have been observed using tools like rocks to break open nuts and even using their paws to open car doors. That's right, brown bears can break into cars. If you leave a picnic basket in the car, don't expect it to be there when you get back. It's part of the whole don't mess with a brown bear rule. Emperor penguin. If there's one bird that knows how to strut its stuff, it's the emperor penguin. These tuxedo-wearing creatures may look like they're headed to a black tie event, but trust me, their lives are anything but glamorous. Found in the icy expanse of Antarctica, the emperor penguin is the largest of all penguin species. Standing almost 4 feet tall and weighing over 80 pounds, it's like a little bird on steroids, without the attitude, of course. One of the most remarkable things about these penguins is their dedication to their families. Emperor penguins are known for their extreme parenting behavior. When it's time to mate, the males take on the responsibility of incubating the egg, while the female goes off to eat. Think about it. The male holds the egg on his feet for about 2 months in freezing temperatures, balancing it like it's a fragile piece of glass. Meanwhile, he's not eating, just surviving on his own fat reserves. Can you imagine the patience required? It's like being stuck on an endless diet without a single snack to help you out. That's love, people. But here's the kicker, once the chicks are born, the father continues to take care of them, keeping them warm and safe. And get this, during the harshest parts of the winter, the chicks are passed around from one parent to another for warmth like a little penguin relay race. It's a family-oriented, heartwarming survival strategy. The emperor penguin has another shocking talent. It's an amazing swimmer. Underneath that dapper tuxedo, they're basically underwater superheroes. They can dive to depths of over 500 meters and stay submerged for up to 20 minutes. In other words, they're not just waddling around on ice. These birds can take on the ocean like it's their personal playground. And their underwater agility? Impressive enough to rival the fastest fish in the sea. But life as an emperor penguin isn't all about family and swimming, it's also about surviving some of the harshest conditions on Earth. Temperatures in Antarctica can plunge below 60 degrees Fahrenheit with winds whipping at over 100 miles per hour. So how did they survive this frozen nightmare? Well, it turns out penguins have excellent insulating feathers that trap air for warmth. Their bodies are like walking thermoses, keeping their internal temperatures warm while they endure some of the planet's most brutal conditions. Elephant. Picture this. You're in the African savanna, and out of the golden grass emerges a creature so massive that the ground beneath your feet seems to shake. It's an elephant, the world's largest land mammal with ears like giant satellite dishes and a trunk that could easily double as a fire hose. Elephants are like the gentle giants of the animal kingdom, but let's not get too comfortable. Beneath that serene exterior lies a beast that could flatten a car with a flick of its trunk. Speaking of trunks, let's dive into this bizarre yet brilliant adaptation. An elephant's trunk is the Swiss Army knife of animal features. It's a nose, a mouth, and a hand all rolled into one. It can suck up to 8 liters of water in a single go, and yet it's gentle enough to pick up a peanut without crushing it. Elephants use their trunks to communicate too. They can make low-frequency rumbles that travel over long distances, perfect for long-distance relationships if you're an elephant, of course. And don't even get me started on their ears. These aren't just for hearing. Elephants have veins running through their ears that help regulate their body temperature. think of their ears as built-in air conditioners. In the heat of Africa, these giant flaps keep them cool by releasing excess heat. So while we're over here sweating in the sun, these elephants are basically walking around with portable AC units strapped to their heads. It's a game changer. But as massive as they are, elephants have surprisingly delicate family dynamics. They live in tight-knit herds led by a matriarch, the oldest, wisest female who holds the group together. It's like the ultimate family reunion, except there's no drama, just a bunch of elephants making sure everyone's okay. They're incredibly social and can grieve the loss of a loved one. They'll gather around the deceased, touching their bones and making rumblings that can only be described as mourning. These are animals that not only survive, they feel. And here's something that'll leave your jaw on the floor. Elephants can recognize themselves in a mirror. Not all animals can do this. It's called self-awareness, and it's a rare trait that sets elephants apart from many other creatures. So, next time you see an elephant, don't just think of it as a big, gray, trunk-wielding beast. Think of it as an intelligent, emotional creature with a deep sense of self. They're basically the philosophers of the savannah. Bald eagle. There's a bird soaring above you, and it looks like it just flew out of a patriotic movie. It's the bald eagle, America's national bird, and yes, it's just as majestic as it sounds. With a wingspan of up to 7.5 feet, these birds aren't just flying machines. They're symbols of strength, freedom, and independence. But let's not get carried away by the national pride just yet. Underneath that noble appearance is a bird that's got more tricks up its sleeve than you'd expect. Let's talk about their hunting skills. Bald eagles don't just hunt in the traditional sense, they're experts at scavenging too. Sure, they can catch fish, nothing new there, but they'll also steal prey from other birds if they can get away with it. A bald eagle can swoop down and catch a fish from the water with its razor-sharp talons, but it's also got the audacity to take lunch from other birds of prey. It's like the bird version of a middle school bully who takes your snacks when you aren't looking. What's even more shocking is how these eagles mate. Bald eagles are known for having lifelong partners, and their courtship is as intense as it gets. During the mating season, they engage in some seriously spectacular aerial displays. Imagine two eagles flying high, locking talons, and spinning in midair. They basically perform an aerial acrobatic show to impress each other. It's like watching an Olympic figure skating routine, only the stakes are way higher. These displays are not only about love, they're about proving who's the strongest, fastest, and most skilled. Talk about high-flying drama. And if you think bald eagles are just about looks and swooping through the air, think again. These birds have incredible eyesight. They can see 4 to 5 times better than humans, which is crucial when hunting. This means they can spot a fish or a rabbit from miles away. Imagine you're out for a hike and a bald eagle spots you from the sky. It would know you're there long before you even knew it. That's some next-level predator stuff. The bald eagle is also a symbol of resilience. In the mid-1900s, they were nearly driven to extinction due to DDT pesticide poisoning and habitat destruction, but through conservation efforts and a lot of hard work, the bald eagle have made a miraculous comeback. They're no longer endangered, and today, they're soaring high above the US, their population's on the rise. It's a true success story, a feathered comeback tale for the ages. Dolphin. Let's set the scene. You're on a boat, cruising across the ocean's deep blue expanse when, out of nowhere, a group of dolphins leap from the water like they're auditioning for a Broadway musical. These creatures are the gymnasts of the ocean, performing flips, twists, and synchronized swimming routines without breaking a sweat. They don't just swim, they dance. Dolphins are one of the smartest animals on the planet, and it shows in every move they make. But here's the twist. Dolphins aren't just cute and clever, they're also very social, living in groups known as pods. They communicate with each other through clicks, whistles, and body language, forming intricate social structures that rival human societies. They have names for each other, and they can call out to a specific dolphin, much like how we use names to get someone's attention. So, next time you're in a pod of dolphins, don't be surprised if you hear your name being called out in a whistle. What's even more shocking, dolphins are known to engage in behaviors that we can only describe as play. They've been observed surfing waves, playing with seaweed, and even engaging in activities just for fun. No survival or food-related reasons, just pure enjoyment. It's like these creatures took a page out of a human playbook and decided that life should be as fun as possible. Play isn't just for humans, apparently. Dolphins are also known for their emotional intelligence. They form deep, lasting bonds with one another, often helping injured or sick members of their pod. It's like having a whole support network in the water. If a dolphin is struggling, others will rally around to protect and assist it. They've been known to swim alongside sick or injured dolphins to help them surface for air. Talk about an oceanic support group. But as cool as dolphins are, they also have a darker side. They're not always the friendly, playful creatures we imagine them to be. Dolphins can be quite aggressive, especially when it comes to defending their territory or competing for mates. Male dolphins in particular have been known to engage in some rather violent behavior, including gang-like activities to control females. Dolphins may be playful, but they're also tough competitors.